Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Crypto Show. That is not called the Crypto Show, but we've got a very interesting rumor from around the crypto space today that could potentially put an end to the SEC. What I'm talking about is some breaking news that SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce is being considered to replace Gary Gensler as the head of the regulatory agency. Now, the source is unknown, so we're going to keep it at that this is unknown, but it's an account with so many followers, and right now it's at 250,000 views, that I did want to bring it up in case it is true. But understand, as of this point, it's just a rumor going around. Understand that carefully. We presume it's clickbait, but perhaps there's more to this than meets the eye. Anyway, before we move on, guys, make sure you go ahead and press the like button on this video, as you've got absolutely nothing to lose. Anyway, then I've got something to show you, which I think is extremely interesting. We all know JP Morgan, the bank, is pretty huge, right? And they've been putting a very heavy focus on this. JP Morgan says payments are eating the world. And kind of as a response, or in combination with that, we've got the CTO of Ripple and the co-creator of the XRP ledger giving us some words of wisdom. Take a good listen, or give it a good listen.
Multi-trillion-dollar problem. And it seems like cryptocurrencies are just naturally suited to make payments better. And it's specifically, we kind of focused on cross-border international payments, not because domestic payments are great, but because cross-border payments are the worst. Like anyone who's made an international payment probably has stories of bad experiences. And so the worse the thing you start with, the less amazing you have to be better. And I think we can eventually be amazing and sort of take over the payments world, but we're not going to be there day one. And so if we can't succeed against the worst part of the problem, why are we bothering? And so that was kind of the very earliest focus. And I think that kind of matured between 2011 and 2014, this kind of focus of like, we really need to solve payments. And if you think about any other use case, you think about an NFT. Well, I want to buy it and I want to sell it. Think about a loan. Well, I want to pay the loan back. And I want to get paid like the amount of money I borrowed. Like all of these other use cases need great payments. And so we just sort of laser focused in on payments.
And the reason I'm showing you that is just to let you understand what is coming and how we got to this place. I mean, right now, a lot of these banks are looking into newer forms of payments and changing the way they work. So this vertical for cryptocurrencies is just extremely important right now. And that is yet another reason why I'm so extremely excited. Also, of course, from the perspective that I don't think the US dollar is going to last forever. Now, I have to add to that claim by saying right now, as it currently stands, they're doing everything they can to mess up their own country. I don't know why. The US has been a powerhouse for 100+ years, but it seems most decisions that are being made right now are not leading it towards the best direction. And I don't think anybody can disagree with me on that one. Having said that, at the exact same time, we're also starting to see all these other countries, specifically the BRICS countries, come together to say, let's end this reign of the US dollar where it's been the champion for too long. We do not want to be dominated or dependent on this country that's having some interesting policies quite recently. Take a look here. The BRICS says the US dollar dominance may be coming to an end, or rather, they're putting their money where their mouth is to try and get it towards an end. And once more, the US dollar as a concept will probably just switch over to some sort of United States dollar type of CBDC, and they will always, at least for as far as the future as I can tell, which I guess is only a couple of years really, but they will for a long time still have their own currency that the masses will use. Because it could take a very long time before this system of banking is completely revolutionized and changed. If people really started sitting down and understanding how payments work right now, how banks function, there will be a revolt tomorrow, but people will not. You guys are at a completely different level, I personally think, than 99 point whatever % of the world. And to that notion, I always say, the way that XRP can fit in, and this is multiple different cryptos as well, can fit into these already existing systems to a certain degree is better than trying to change up the entire system and make your own, because it will take a long time before we get to that standard. And you might be pushing on to the new standard, yeah. But it really takes a long time to transition over. And in that meantime, there are so many gains to get, as it will take a long time before everybody lets go of the US dollars system. Actually, there was another little rumor going around, and this came from Watcher Guru. I'd say one of the biggest crypto news sources out there, basically, which is why it's pretty surprising. Apparently, the US SEC will not approve a Bitcoin spot ETF, says the former SEC chief. So again, we've got John Reed Stark saying, it ain't gonna happen. And so it's not a rumor in the sense that this statement itself is not true. It's more a matter of this guy has not worked for the SEC in a little while. Does he still have the authority to say that? Just because he used to work there, does he really know what he's talking about in terms of the future? And does he not underestimate the power of BlackRock? Most of his opinion stems away from the idea that there are no ETFs out there currently. I mean, there's futures ETFs. People can still get exposure to crypto through some way, shape, or form. He's saying SEC should reject Bitcoin ETF filings because they will expose investors to fraud, manipulation, and other investor harms. To which I always like to state, the moment you get those ETFs in there, a lot of this harm is going to be pushed away, because how much manipulation can you get in a $1 trillion market? A lot. How much manipulation can you get in a $60 trillion market? Well, a lot, but different. I mean, we all know that these commissioners and these higher positions, they insider trade. They do these shady things to make a good sum of money. And of course, they manipulate the market. That will happen at any single field. But if it's a $1 trillion industry, as small as crypto is right now, it's significantly easier to do than when all these major institutions have joined the game also, because they've got their own agenda. And to that, I'd like to state Coin Bureau actually posted up some dates as well that everybody's got to watch right now with regards to the Bitcoin ETFs. But through some mysterious bone in my body, I don't really believe that these dates will have too much significance. As you can see, we've got filing date, posted date, SEC date, Federal Register date, first deadline, second deadline, third deadline, final deadline. The way it seems to me is everything is going to drag on to the last of the last moment. And the moment you think it's not going to happen, they go for something. Meaning, the moment you decide to give up, push your money away, they're going to go for it. Meaning, a lot of the normal retail don't make money on these types of announcements. They don't get to take full advantage. They're going to do this at the, my opinion, absolute worst time for retail, where people have given up completely, so that the institutions have got themselves a very good entry, a very good spot. Again, guys, I am still a firm believer that Bitcoin, for example, will never go below $15,000 anymore. We've seen these cycles, but I do believe there is some further downside possible as we go towards the next year, as we go towards 2024, the halving, and, well, basically the next top. Even Plan B posted 8 months to 2024 Bitcoin halving and stock to flow doubling. Let's just rephrase it by saying, I think the stage is already set and the trajectory is basically upwards. Regardless of which crypto you buy, if they're at the top and they've got some good tech with a proper community, I think they'll do extremely well. And actually, for fun, let me know down below in the comments what your absolute favorite altcoin is right now, and we're going to do some research into that one. An additional thing that I think was extremely interesting is how the upper layers are basically adding to the crypto space at some rapid pace that many people are not noticing. Coinbase released their own layer 2 on Ethereum. It's called Base. What have they done now? Apparently, Coca-Cola just unveiled a masterpiece NFT, which, again, pretty garbage. If one of these major companies is launching an NFT collection, it's because they're grabbing money, is my opinion on the matter, right? But they just unveiled their masterpiece NFT collection, but it's on Base. And I've kept on thinking about that for a while. What if multiple different other behemoths, like Apple, for example, Google, whoever, one of these behemoths, goes for their own network or their own layer 2 potentially? Just as how Visa right now is exploring into making these on-chain Ethereum fees payable with credit card, and on a sideline, PayPal is creating their stablecoin on Ethereum. Multiple major companies are looking into building on this space or within this space. But just how much adoption would that bring in the span of a couple of weeks the moment that they do go for something like that? Because they've got these partnerships where right now we're pretty surprised with Coca-Cola. they've got these partnerships in their back pocket. Anyway, I also wanted to let you guys know that some DeFi yield aggregator, Tsunami Protocol, just suffered a $2.1 million loss in an exploit. I think it's always important for me to share the bad sides of crypto as well, and the idea that some people, if they're playing around, also bring themselves in a little bit of a worse position, right? And DeFi, from that perspective, even though it's amazing, it allows for many people to earn money that they otherwise couldn't have earned in any way, shape, or form, it still is pretty risky, and there are exploits happening all the time. I just sometimes want to share because many people think, let me put some money here, forget about it. But in the crypto space, you always have to pay close attention. Which is why I keep you guys up to date with all the most important crypto news every single day. And that's why, again, I say, guys, make sure you put that notification bell on so you never miss out on another video. And let me know down below which altcoin you're watching. I'll take a good look and talk about it potentially. But yeah, that's about it. See you guys later in another crypto video.